Hello in YouTube land, and right now I'm going to do a Criterion review, continuing Criterion month. But before I do that, I wanted to ask a little question of my viewers out there. So hopefully the people that are going to be soon entering this contest will be able to help me out. I am closely hitting up on, well, knock on wood, 500 subscribers. I'm at about 497 right now. So coming up really soon, if I hit 500, I'm going to do a big 500 subscriber contest. There's a couple ways I could go about this, prize-wise. I could go with the gift card route, or I could follow in the suit I did with my 350 subscriber contest, and I could go the Criterion route. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys to kind of let me know, and we'll kind of figure out. I have to look here. My better half's looking like she has something to say, but okay. Well, she doesn't. But anyway, soon I'll have 500 subscriber contest, so watch out for that, and let me know what you would prefer. Would you prefer a Criterion, which I'll pick the something cool in the Criterion collection, like I did with Breathless, or would you prefer the gift card, which will probably be an Amazon gift card where you get the code type thing and get what you want. The Criterion movie that I did watch today was The Lady Vanishes. Of course, from Alfred Hitchcock in 1938. And it's kind of a spy thriller, very much a comedy, kind of madcap. And the really cool thing about this is it was made in 1938, and some of the ideas were kind of prophetic to what would happen just a year later with Hitler. But I gotta say, I loved this film. It runs 96 minutes long. It's this is the Blu-ray edition of The Lady Vanishes, and I say the picture's good, but it is an older film. This is 1938, so you do get to see the wear of the picture, but you see it as good as the picture's going to get. We have the booklet here, which we'll look at first before we talk about the film, and talk about some of the actors in the film, and what it. We'll grab out the Blu-ray so you can see that. And it has a pretty, it's a pretty normal Blu-ray. There's nothing behind here, basically just kind of the chapters list. And The Lady Vanishes starred Margaret Lockwood and Michael Redgrave. And again, it's another early Hitchcock film that has a strong female lead character. And it amazes me how strong the leads are in his earlier British works are, actually compared to some of his later works. He did have some, some decent strong leads, Barbara Bel Geddes' character and Rear Window and stuff like that, but still, the stronger leads in female leads in the Hitchcock films are the British ones. It baffles me, because you would think it would be more repressed and more, the side would be different, but actually it's not. It's kind of like when you watch The Man Who Knew Too Much, the original, and then you see Doris Day's character in the remake, and it's kind of a WTF moment, as in until I watched the original, I didn't realize how badly they ruined the wife character. This one here deals with a woman played by Margaret Lockwood who is going to be married. She's a very kind of spirited, independent woman. She's going to be marrying this guy that she doesn't seem to be too enthralled with. It's kind of like arranged from her dad, and she's done all kinds of stuff in her life, and she's been very adventurous. And she's about to get on this train, and she meets this old lady, who is not exactly what she seems. He gets hit on the head with a flower pot that is meant to have hit the old lady on the head. We see somebody murdered earlier on, by a shadowy figure, and basically what happens next is that the old lady vanishes on the train, and nobody seems to remember her. And the people that don't want to admit it. There are two fantastic characters in this one here. Although they're not really touted as such, they come across as a gay couple. Charters and Caldecott. In the movie, it's never really out and out said, but their physical proximity towards each other, the way that they act, especially considering like this is not like in a country where, there are some countries where men walk hand in hand and stuff like that, but these are two, upper crust British men and cricket enthusiasts. They are very much they're pretty much the most loving couple in the film, and they're used really well for comic relief. In actuality, these characters were so popular that they would go on to make their own film, a spin-off film without Hitchcock, but using these exact same characters called Crooks Tour in 1941. And by the way, that's included on here as well, and it's remastered, so that's just pretty cool. The special features on here, we get new audio commentary by film historian Bruce Etter. We have excerpts from Francois Truffaut's 1962 audio interview with director Alfred Hitchcock, which, it's legendary now. The book was done as well. Mystery Train was a video essay by Leonard Leff. And Leonard Leff is a little bit of he's not exactly the most enthusiastic and exciting narrator for this, but he does a good job. And the stuff is interesting enough that you get a past that really fast. First, his voice is like, oh, am I going to be able to get through this? But the subject material is so interesting that you find yourself kind of enthralled with it. Again, Stills Gallery is fantastic on this one here. Great booklet. It's a fantastic transfer. It's the best that this movie's ever been. It's in the original 1:3 aspect ratio, so expect that. And honestly, this could have been DVD. I don't think that a Blu-ray transfer was needed. You could probably pick this one up in DVD and get the exact same quality. I kind of get that feeling with this film. There's only so good that this movie's going to get. As you know, if you've ever seen any of the horrible public domain ones that came out of this is way better than that. But still, this movie's only going to get so good, and this is going to be as good as it gets. Michael Redgrave and Margaret Lockwood are the two leads in this, and they have fantastic chemistry. Michael Redgrave was a British actor who pretty much wasn't interested in film, not at all actually. He took a small role in Alfred Hitchcock's Secret Agent, but he wanted to stay pretty much towards the stage, and all of a sudden, he decided, I guess maybe, I don't know, he needed money or just wanted to give it a shot. He did The Lady Vanishes, and pretty much this made him a screen star. And the difference between Michael Redgrave and a lot of other stage actors is when you watch Michael Redgrave on the screen, you don't see a stage actor. With a lot of these type of actors, you do see a stage actor on the screen. Whenever Laurence Olivier is in a film, you know that Laurence Olivier is primarily a stage guy. And, controversial statement alert. Laurence Olivier is considered one of the greatest actors of all time. And Laurence Olivier was one of the greatest stage actors of all time. Laurence Olivier, however, is not one of the greatest film actors of all time. He just translates his stage work onto screen. Sometimes it comes off well, sometimes it doesn't. Redgrave, however, is a stage actor that translates well into a film. His work doesn't come off stage; it comes off very natural. My better half found his look similar to, in slight comparison to Edward Norton. I thought he was better looking than that, but I can see what she meant with the Edward Norton, just in the way that he carries himself. And I think a lot of it was that this character here is a character that, although he's kind of like quick-witted and stuff like that, he's also very awkward, especially when it comes to the female of the species. But he plays himself off so suave and so and just kind of cool. But there's that awkwardness that he has with the Margaret Lockwood character because he really cares what happens to her. He right from you can see this guy wears his heart on his sleeve, but it never comes off as forced. It never comes off as too awkward. He never comes off as nerdy or knavish or anything like that. It just comes off as honest. Michael Redgrave plays this role completely honestly, and it is probably one of the best early roles that I've seen in a Hitchcock film, and one of the best early leads. As much as I like Robert Downey and Peter Lorre, some of those were very stagey, very flashy, flamboyant roles. Michael Redgrave's role is neither flashy, flamboyant, nor stagey, and it, for that reason, as a for pure acting purposes, it is definitely above the other ones that I just mentioned. Which I know some people are going to go on here like, my God, how can you say it's about Peter Lorre and The Man Who Knew Too Much? Well, Peter Lorre in The Man Who Knew Too Much was a stagey, cartoonishy villain character. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's what it was supposed to be. But we're talking acting here, and we're talking credentials. And Michael Redgrave was one of the greats. Unfortunately, not known enough now. There are some great actresses in here. The lady who vanishes, of course, is played by Dame May Whitty, and she does an incredible role here. She, for the small role that she has, and she's very much reminiscent to me of like a Agatha Christie, Miss Marple-ish character. I kind of really got that vibe off of her, which I gotta say I really, really love. She was such a cool character in this movie. The bad guys overall are pretty good. There is one bad guy in there that I didn't really take to. He felt comically forced, and he's the most physical of the bad guys. He actually has a fight sequence with the lead, and the fight sequence is done very, very comical. I imagine the fight sequence in you know that scene in The Torn Curtain where Paul Newman is trying to kill that guy, and it's going horribly, but it's almost horrific in the way that in the really realistic way that he dies. Well, in this one, it's kind of like done like that, but in a more comical sense. This is one that's very much tongue-in-cheek and very light, but still, you get to see it's almost screwballish in certain aspects of it, but with a little bit more smarts than the average screwball comedy. And yeah, I love the screwball comedy. I'm trying to remember I think Paul Lucas was was one of the male leads in this one here as well, and hope I got that name right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, cast helps, doesn't it? Paul Lucas plays Dr. Hartz, and let's just say he's incredible in the role of just the way that he does his movements, the way he uses his voice, the way that he just obvious villains are obvious in this film here, but this guy just takes it to a different level that I really, really enjoyed. The cricket enthusiasts, played by Caldecott and Charters, they're played by Naughton Wayne and Basil Radford. I know because I always got him in, but not because they look anything alike, but their names are the same, Basil Rathbone. I would always say Rathbone by accident. The nun, as a small but pivotal role, is played by Catherine Lacey. And the characters that I really didn't feel really contributed to the story at all, but they're in it, are Signor Dopo and Signora Dopo. They're pretty much characters that anybody could have played this role, and I thought that Signor Dopo, played by Philip Lever, wasn't that interesting a character, and he just didn't match the physicality of what you would think for that role. Now, a really neat thing is that, of course, we got Elma Ravel, the bride of Alfred Hitchcock, doing the continuity. In other words, she was pretty much like helping him with the aspects. She had a lot to do with the back stories of these films. But what the really cool thing is, if you're a Hammer fan and you're a horror fan, you're going to want to notice who the assistant director on this film is. And it's Roy Ward Baker, who did a lot of really cool British stuff. Look up his name, you'll know who it is right away. That's probably one of the coolest facts that you'll find out from reading one of these booklets. Although it's not mentioned much in here, it's just mentioned in the cast list. I'm a fan of Hammer, and I'm a fan of Baker's work. The Lady Vanishes. If you collect the Hitchcock stuff, it's a must. It's a fun film, and it's made me rethink some of my Criterion things that I want to get this time around if I manage to get some more. I'm still up in the air on whether I will or not. But I realized that I watch a lot of these suspense ones a lot, like the thrillers and that. I love stuff like this, which intrigues me about movies like Night Train to Munich, which is very similar to this, and the Canadian set 49th Parallel. So for me right now, the review is over. Let me know about the contest, and it is time for tea.